Now, what you're looking at right here is the missile strikes that were sent by Iran to our bases in Qatar getting knocked out of the sky by the air defenses. And when you watch this video, this is unbelievable that humans create such incredible technology. We knock missiles out of the sky. So check this out. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we've got obviously a lot to discuss. Iran has launched a missile strike against U.S. bases, exactly what Trump warned them not to do. Trump has responded to their missile attack and essentially stated what the United States is going to do next in response to the attack. We also have a terrorism bulletin that Iran is planning to, launch attacks inside the United States. I'm very curious the sources of that intel at this point. I've said I stay out of all this Middle East stuff, but at a certain point, you have to at least start looking at things objectively and being like, what's really going on here? Like, who's driving these decisions and where are they getting the intel from this? Are there legit sources? Are they making things up? I heard today that Hegseth was against the strikes. Obviously, he doesn't have final say. The commander-in-chief does. Tulsi was against the strikes. And this is just looking like a lot more complicated than it looked like initially. But we're also going to have some fun, okay? So we're going to go through like what the Terrorism Advisory Board obviously means, but we've got some reactions that we really, really need to start off with because it's just unbelievable how crazy some of these people actually are. It never ceases to amaze me how par for the course it is for the far left to just be ecstatic about the idea of violence against Americans. It's really, it's like really unbelievable to me. It's just culturally ingrained, And that's, again, for the 100th time that I've said this, and I will continue to say it every single time I talk about it. I genuinely believe that is because the nature of how the cultural development of the two sides has gone in the last, call it 8 years, is that 90% of people whose testosterone is above the low side of average are on our side, which generally means that the majority of people who have any actual experience with genuine violence are on our side, So when you have all of these irrational, angry women and little twink dudes who have never actually seen what reality is when someone gets killed or someone gets beaten half to death, they don't even know what they're saying. They are playing a video game in their mind, and this video game is like some manufactured version of reality. And let's be honest, I really like making fun of them. So we're going to start right there. Now, we're going to handshake you guys. If you guys want to watch my content, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel. It takes 1 second. And if you're already subscribed, please like this video. It takes literally 1 second. Just click like. If you're watching it on a TV, I know that's, very difficult. But if you're on your phone or you're on an iPad or whatever, please click like. I appreciate it. Now, I know I said I was going to start with reactions to the far left, but I'm actually going to start with the meat and bones of this. So let's hear about the terrorism advisory, and then we're going to talk about Iran's missiles and Trump's response to that. So here's what we have on the heightened risk. So a bulletin from the National Terrorism Advisory System warns of a heightened threat environment in the United States following military strikes on Iran's nuclear sites. So the bulletin, first obtained by CBS News, does not note any current specific threats, but warn of a yada, yada, yada. Okay, bottom line is, so while there are no known threats, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem said, it's our duty to keep the nation safe and informed, especially during times of conflict. So basically, this is all going off, as far as I understand, the word that Iran said they're going to attack inside the United States. I can't find that quote from Iran, just for the record. I can't find it. And given the fact that Netanyahu said that Israel was behind the assassination attempts on Trump right before the attacks, the attacks that we launched, I'm like, something tells me that, intelligence is coming from that source might not be very strong, because no one is going to convince me that Iran was behind the Butler attack. That's nonsense. And it's concerning that he felt confidently enough to just throw that out there publicly. It's like, bro, give me a break. Iran was behind the Butler thing. That guy, with the no silverware in his house and the pings from the cell phone that had been at his house 14 times going back to a federal building, like that you're telling me is that was Iran. Iran was operating out of a federal building. Iran somehow got the counter snipers to not take a shot at the guy. Iran somehow got the Secret Service to just not clear a building 130 yards away from the president with a clear shot from the counter snipers that they decided not to take until the guy already got 100 shots off or whatever. Like, oh, it's Iran, huh? Oh, Iran decided to put Joe Biden's motorcade in Pennsylvania at the exact same time, so they had to pull all the good Secret Service people off, and you put these like desk people there. One of them was hiding behind the president at the time of the shooting. That's all. Oh, that's all Iran, huh? That's interesting. I feel like no. Okay, I feel like no. And if they would have had intelligence on how much, the internet-based influencers, how much research we've all done on that incident, they should have known that, like, yeah, no one was going to believe that. And so why would you say it? Because all you're doing now is hurting your credibility when you say things like, oh, Iran is going to attack inside the United States. Because if we do get attacked inside the United States, it's going to be hard to convince me that it was Iran, I'm just saying, I have no idea who it would have been. But who benefits? Right? Who benefits is what I'm saying. So, listen, dude, at the end of the day, I hope that there are no attacks anywhere. But the bulletin notes that U.S. law enforcement has disrupted multiple potentially lethal Iranian-backed plots in the United States since 2020 and warns the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict could also motivate violent extremists and hate groups or hate crime perpetrators seeking to attack targets. So we'll see, dude, But now let's take a look at this. So Iran fired missiles at the base in Qatar. And check this out, okay? So Iran gave a 12-hour heads up before launching its missile attack on U.S. bases stationed in Qatar. No casualties are expected. The strike involved 6 missiles aimed at symbolic targets, signaling response without any expectation of matching the scale of damage Iran suffered over the weekend. So what that tells you is that this was not a real response, okay? This was not a real response. They weren't trying to hurt anyone. They gave a 12-hour heads up, okay? They did not want to kill any American soldiers. It's really important to understand that. They did not want to get any American soldiers because then they're locked in a hot war with us, okay? They fired at bases in Qatar, and they gave us time to prepare so that we could shoot them out of the sky, which apparently we did, okay? So check this out. Look at the video. This is the video of the missiles being intercepted in Qatar. Okay, so just in, Qatar confirms that Iranian missiles launched toward the U.S. Al Udeid base were successfully intercepted. There are no reports of damage or injuries. Okay, so look at that. This is the actual video. Those are the missiles going up, or those are the air defenses going up and knocking them out of the sky. It's pretty amazing, dude. Pretty amazing. Look at that. Boom. That's badass, dude. Let's be honest. That's pretty incredible. Now, let's move over to the really important stuff, which is this right here. So what can we expect going forward? All right. So Trump has issued a statement responding to Iran's attacks. There will be no further escalation on America's part, describing Iran as a child that threw a tantrum to get it out of their system, and he calls on Iran to pursue peace. Iran, this is from Trump. Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected and have very effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles fired. Oh, I thought it was less than that, but whatever. 14 missiles fired, 13 were knocked down, and 1 was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. I am pleased to report that no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done. Most importantly, they've gotten it out of their system, and there will be hopefully no further hate. I want to thank Iran for giving us early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, again, and like this guy said, this is exactly right. Important note that Iran provided U.S. with direct advance notice of the attack. Okay. That is them being like, we're not trying to escalate, but we have to respond, right? You can't have a country hit you with an attack like that and you do nothing. You just can't do it. Even if it's a symbolic act, you have to hit back. So, I'm curious, honestly, if, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I don't understand what actually just happened here. Overall, I feel like I just don't understand what happened, because I heard a report yesterday that said that Iran had already taken everything out of those, the nuclear facilities already. And so the uranium that had been enriched to whatever, 70% or 60%, whatever it is, was not there. And, listen, if we successfully destroyed all of their centrifuges, then it's going to take them a very long time to rebuild anything to where they could continue to enrich uranium. I mean, the whole thing is, I know we've talked about this before on the channel, but if you're new to the channel, centrifuges, I mean, the technology that we're attacking are these centrifuges, and all they are is you put uranium inside of them and they spin super fast, because you have to separate the U-235 from the U-235 particles, which are extremely rare in uranium, from the other particles. I think there's 3 types in there, and if I remember correctly, the U-235 are the lightest, and so they spin out to the furthest side, and then you capture them. And it's very arduous, and it takes a very long time. But, it's not, I mean, once you know how to do it, you can do it again. The idea that we know where all of their plants are and that we successfully destroyed all of their plants, I mean, who knows? Who knows? But it seems extremely likely that the uranium that they did have would have not been on site if those nuclear sites were known by the Iranians to be known by their enemies. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's your big leverage point, the enriched uranium that's like 2/3 of the way there, if that's your big leverage, you'd be pretty stupid to keep that in a place where everyone knows exists, and that's the purpose of it being there. Because who knows if someone's going to hit you? And certainly once Israel starts hitting you, you'd be, common sense to get that stuff out of there. So the reports I'm hearing now are that they got that stuff out of there. But, and again, being that the bases are underground, who knows? I mean, Trump says we annihilated them, but I don't know how anybody could know that. You know what I mean? I would love for that to be the case, I guess, since I'm on Team America or whatever. I would rather we just didn't get involved in foreign wars, period, like we've said over and over and over. But once we've done it, hopefully we were at least successful in the thing that we did. But again, I don't see how there's any possible intelligence that we would be able to say for sure that we knocked that stuff out, because they're underground. You can't verify that at all. There's no satellite that you can verify. How would we know? Unless we have people on the inside of the government, which is possible. But I would imagine the nuclear facilities are tightly kept secrets among very, very high level people. So I don't know, dude. I just don't really understand. What happened here. Do you know what I mean? So what happened? We bombed the nuclear facilities. They sent some symbolic response, and then that's just it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Now let's make fun of some leftists. Okay. So let's start with this lunatic who asks Iran to bomb red states because they voted for the big guy. Nice.
Dear Iran, this is my official application of states that you should wipe out because we did not vote for that orange Cheeto man over here in Los Angeles. Alabama.
Out of here.
Florida.
Out of here.
Arkansas.
Boom.
Oklahoma.
Get 'em gone.
Ohio.
No.
Kansas.
Gone.
Kentucky.
No.
Arkansas.
Red.
Tennessee.
Fire.
Texas.
Oh, double it.
Let me get my best friend out, and then Texas. Okay, and my family, and then Texas. Anyway.
Let me get my best friend out and my family, but Texas. You stupid. Okay? You think that just because you don't know the rest of the state, that they're not just like your family and your best friend. These people live in outer space, dude. I don't understand. I realize that you, girl, are a confused, dumb girl. You're an idiot, obviously. But, hey, You know what I don't want? I don't think that you need to be firebombed, you know? I think you're stupid. As a matter of fact, I know you're stupid. But I don't want to see you get firebombed. I don't want to see you get killed. Even your little butt buddy back there, I don't want to see anything negative happen to him either. You know? I honestly don't care if you hate Republicans. But stop spreading this kind of thing, dude. The violent stuff. Do you ever hear people like me or influencers or anybody who are like, you know, hey, I voted for Trump, guys. I did do that. So do you think that I want you guys hurt if you didn't? I don't. I want you guys to prosper. I want you to do amazing. I have love for everybody. Okay. I am going to make you the butt of jokes though, because you deserve it. Okay.
Anyways, I hope you consider this application and really take it into consideration.
Like, this is what I'm saying. She put this up thinking, probably knowing that she's going to get a bunch of positive feedback from these nerds that follow her channel. You're like, dude, you're a psycho. Like, you people are psychos. And what's amazing about it is knowing for sure that if faced with one of us in person, you're like, hey, here's your chance. Hey, guy back there, you said you want to see the entire state wiped out. Okay, here's your chance, dude. Hey, I'm your enemy. Do it. Do something. Like, do something. I'm not going to, hey, I won't fight back unless you hurt me. Okay, go ahead. Do something. They're going to go, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just violent rhetoric, nonsense. I had actually a plan to make this way more funny, but this actually really pisses me off. So now, like, when I'm actually mad, I'm much less funny, and that makes me mad, dude. I'm going to be honest. Now, let's take a look at a Democrat politician. Well, technically, it's the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. Let's take a look at her, and let's watch her disingenuously do what I'm talking about. Like, pretend like they care about human lives and things like that when all you're actually doing is attacking the same person you've been attacking disingenuously all along. Praying for our military and law enforcement personnel in harm's way, we mourn the lives lost in recent days and pray for a quick end to this conflict and a lasting peace. Hey, Letitia James, I have an idea. How about you focus on the criminal case that you're defending, you know? Since you decided that you wanted to spearhead using the law to try to put the big guy in prison while he was the top polling candidate for president, okay? When these people espouse the idea that they are the ones who protect democracy and at the same time have no issue trying to put the leading candidate, which means the majority of voters wanted him to be president, into prison, it's like the level of delusion and inability to assess yourself is unreal. You do not care about democracy, Letitia James, at all. You don't care about it at all. You like to pretend you care about it as long as your people win. You're a fraud, okay? You're a fraud. You're a liar. And you're delusional. And I'm going to laugh when you go to jail, okay? Again, no violence. But you tried to put a fake case on a guy. You tried to bankrupt him and put him in jail. And so, oh no, you found yourself with a bad real estate case yourself because she's the one that put the thing about the inflated values on him, on the, inflated the values on his buildings. And you're like, yeah, you mean the victimless crime, like where he took those loans out, paid the banks back in full. No one was asking for this case whatsoever. And you put it on him anyway. And then you assessed a $550 million, corrupt. Anyway, so give me a break. Now, let's get into the